Hi, let's learn how to work into the back loop only. It'll say BLO, back loop only, when your patterns. This is a half double crochet. You can do it with any of the stitches. You're just going to work into the back loop only. With a half double crochet, you have a back loop, a front loop, and this is the only stitch that I can think of that we also have a third loop. And that is used in some patterns. It makes a really pretty pattern. But right now, let's go into the back loop only. So I'm doing half double crochets into that back loop only. Oops. Pull through and complete your stitch. Let's do that again. See, now it's pulling you to the back. Gets a little easier. Back loop only. Pull through. Complete your stitch. See how it's leaving this nice ridge? Yarn over. Go through your back loop only and complete your stitch. I want to show you what it's normally used for making a ribbing, a stretchy kind of ribbing border on sweaters and blankets. You can do a border, a ribbing border with single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. Sometimes they'll use half double crochet and then do either a single or a slip stitch in between the half double crochet rows. When I get to the end of a row, a lot of the patterns will still tell you to go into the back loop only, but let me show you what happens. You end up with this big hole there. I don't like it. And it's not necessary. It won't mess up your pattern at all to do how I prefer. Go into the whole stitch only in the last. It just doesn't leave you with that big hole. All right, let's turn. I'm just going to chain one because I want to start in that very first stitch. Yarn over. Let's go in that back loop only. Yarn over. Back loop only. It's a lot easier to see these stitches with a chunky yarn. I love working with chunky yarn. I don't know if you can start to see the ridges. It also looks really nice if you go vertically and make a sweater with it, especially with this chunky yarn. And also it's great for making blankets. It's just super cushy and reminds you of a sweater. So that's the back loop only. Now let's go back and do front loop only. I'll continue. With half double crochets. Now you did the back loop. Now we're going to do front loop only. Go into that front loop. Pull through. Front loop only will say FLO. Front loop only. All right. And it ends up with a little bit of a different stitch. Front loop only. Oh, this yarn is so soft. It's easy on your hands. Goes right through. Doesn't catch. Now remember that very last stitch, I don't like to use just one loop. go into the whole stitch and complete your stitch. And that's how that's going to look. Just pulls these loops forward. It gives you this line. Almost looks like a rope. Now with the half double crochet, there's one more. You would half double crochet into the third loop only. That's that front loop. Back, front, and this one is the third loop. And let me show you what that does, because it makes a really cool pattern. Now don't mistake this. Look for your stitch. That's your third loop. Not there. Look for your stitch. That's your third loop. There's your third loop. Oops. In case you get confused, turn it over. There's your front or back, front, third loop here. And this is your last stitch. Go into the whole stitch. Let me show you what happens on the other side when you do that. Ta-da! It makes this nice chain. It ends up looking kind of like a cable. Looks really cool when you're working vertically. That's another nice stitch. That was third loop only in the half double crochet. That's the only stitch that has that. Have fun with it.